So we've got this set up, and now, for a very... I think this is great. I think this part is just absolutely fantastic. Because you'll all remember that the initial design, at the end of the arm here, the initial design had a little copper pin that you would bend back and forth to change the firing angle. We've done something much better than that. So this arm, the end of this arm, looks very, very different. And I'm going to get this really in good focus up closer so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. First of all, there's no copper pin. There we go. Second of all, you can barely see there's a series of very tiny bumps along the end of the arm here. What happens is we have another piece made out of the same plastic material, a material called Delrin. It's very, very tough. The same plastic material of the washer with the friction fins. Okay? And it looks just like this. Oh, the lighting here is terrible. It looks just... Where's the focus? Oh, that's pretty good. It looks just like this. And it's a little bit hard to see, but inside there, it has a bunch of little comb teeth. And what happens is we're going to take this, and we're going to slide it into the open end of the arm here, with the pin part facing out. And once we get it in there, we're going to click it up into place. And now, the way you adjust the firing angle is that this actually just clicks back and forth through any of a bunch of different positions on the end of the arm. The angles are actually spaced out every 15 degrees in case you want to be scientific and go do some experiments to really measure how this thing behaves. But it's easy enough to deal with here. Okay, now both this trigger pin here and the washer are made out of a plastic material called Delrin. It's very, very tough, and it shouldn't break, but even if any of them do, we're including 2 of these each with every kit, so you shouldn't have any trouble. Okay. So we're almost ready to fire. We're just missing one very important piece. We're missing the payload because, I don't know if you can see this here, when we get this in the ready to fire position and let it go, it's kind of anemic. We want more power than that. So what we need to do is we're going to take our 3 handy-dandy 1/2 inch by 1 inch by 2 inch steel weights, and we're going to take them and load them right into the counterweight basket, just like that. They fit right in. Okay. Now, I'll try this again to hold it steady here. This has a lot more force behind it. I'll show you how to fire it now. What we want to do, the first thing we want to do, is we're going to take this, we're going to bend this pin forward a little bit more, because the way this machine works is in order to fire it, you take the washer, you put it on the end of the pin, okay? You pull this back, and you pull this back underneath the machine, all the way back like this. This is the ready to fire position. Now, you want to make sure you're not firing it like this right in front of your face, because when you let go, this arm is going to swing backward like that. And you don't want your face to be in there. That's not a good place to be. It's much better to fire it from the side, looking at it like this. Okay? And the way this works is actually very, very interesting. This is your user's manual on how to get the most out of your trebuchet. When it's in the ready to fire position and this swings around, the sling comes out, make sure this is in the video, the sling comes out this way until the sling reaches an angle of 90 degrees with the angle of the firing pin, at which point the washer lets go and the sling releases the projectile. So the further forward this pin is bent, the later the release will be and the flatter the arc. The further backwards this pin is bent, the earlier the release will be and the higher the arc. If you bend it too far backwards, it'll actually fire backwards. Okay, but we're going to try to peg Evan over there, and so we're going to bend this forward a fair bit. The way this works is once we have this here, we take the ball in one hand, put the ball in the sling. once the ball's in the sling, we take the washer and put the washer on the end of the pin. Just like that. Once that's done, we have to make sure that we don't get the strings tangled, because if these get all twisted, it doesn't release very well. I'm going to make sure the strings go there. And we're going to take this, and we're going to pull the ball with the sling underneath the machine. Oh, let me get this here. It's a little bit tricky to do while I'm holding this up. We're going to put it all the way back here. And what happens here is that the rails act like a release guide to make sure that the ball flies straight. So, without further ado, we're going to set this up over here, and I think that's about where Evan is. So when we're ready, remember, we're going to make sure that when this swings out, this arm is going to swing out that way, out over here, and so I'm not going to stay anywhere out here. I'm well off to the side here, just in case. I don't want to be in the way of this arm when it goes. I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to let go and move my arm out of the way of the counterweight. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I think I missed. Well, that's all we've got time for. That is the complete design guide and manual to your soon-to-be new Trebuchet. I hope you guys had fun with this little series. I know I had a lot of fun with it, making these videos here. And production, meanwhile, while you've been watching all of these, production has been going at our facility, the job shop we're working with out in Fremont. And we're going to get these mailed out just as soon as we can. First come, first serve. Alright, that's the end of our little videos. I hope you enjoyed them. Have a good one.